All right, guys. So I missed a couple of you in small group today, and then I know some of us had trouble getting connected to the internet. So for green and blue group, we are working at Lions at Lunchtime, okay? And we're reading chapters 3 and 4 today. Okay. Chapter 3, Disaster. Come on, Jack, Annie called. She was almost to the river. Just a minute, he shouted. He wanted to study the giraffes and zebras. He pulled out the Africa book and found a picture of giraffes, and he read, "The giraffe is the tallest animal in the world. Its legs alone can be 6 feet tall, and its hooves can be as big as dinner plates. The giraffe has a powerful kick, which makes it dangerous to attack. For this reason, lions tend to avoid giraffes." Jack pulled out his notebook and wrote, "Notes on Africa. Lions avoid giraffes." He turned the page and read more in his book. Zebras live in family groups. As no two zebras have exactly the same pattern of stripes, every baby zebra must learn its own mother's pattern. Jack studied the zebras, trying to see their different patterns. But in the hazy afternoon light, all the stripes made him dizzy. He blinked to clear his head and then read more. This is the book that Meg gave him at the beginning of the story. Zebras are the first to cross the river because they eat the coarsest grass. After they've thinned down the top layer, the wildebeests arrive and eat the next layer. They prepare the grass for the gazelles who come last. Wow, thought Jack, each animal depends on the one that goes before it. He wrote, "Animals all connected." Jack heard Annie shouting from the riverbank, "Jump, beasts, jump! You can do it! Don't be afraid, come on!" He looked up. Annie herself was jumping as she called to the wildebeests. Jack sighed, "I'd better stop her before trouble." He put away the Africa book and his notes. Then he jogged toward the river. His pack was heavy and thumpy and bumping against his back. He'd forgotten to take out the jar of peanut butter and the loaf of bread. Jack decided to leave them at the treehouse. He turned to go back. But just then, Annie's shouting stopped. Jack looked at the river. She had vanished. "Annie? Annie? Annie? Where is she?" "Oh, man," said Jack. She'd completely disappeared. This trip had barely begun, and already disaster had struck. He forgot about the stuff in his pack. He just ran as fast as he could. He wove his way between the grazing zebras and giraffes as he raced to the river. "Help!" called Annie. Chapter 4, Mud Bath. Jack looked over the edge of the riverbank. Annie had fallen into a pool of mud near the water. The thick black mud was up to her chest. "I slipped! It feels like quicksand!" Jack threw down his pack and got on his knees. "Be careful," said Annie. "Don't slip too." Jack pointed to the tangle of old tree roots sticking out of the bank. "Grab those," he said. Annie reached for the roots. "Too far! I'm sinking!" She was sinking. The mud was up to her neck. "Hold on," Jack said. He saw a fallen tree branch near the bank. He raced to it, picked it up, and carried it back to Annie. Only her head and arms stuck out of the mud now. Jack held out the branch. Annie grabbed it. "Hold tight," said Jack. "I'll drag you over the roots." He started pulling the branch. "I'm still sinking," Annie wailed. The mud was up to her chin. "Come on," said Jack. "You can do it. You can do it. Try. Try." Just then, Jack heard a splash. He looked up. On the other side of the river, the wide wildebeest had jumped into the water. Another and another. They were headed right toward Jack and Annie. "Hold on tight," said Jack. He pulled out the stick again. Annie moved a tiny bit. "Hey, Jack, on the moon, it felt like you weighed 10 pounds, said Annie, "and in the mud it feels like you weigh a ton." "Concentrate, Annie," said Jack, trying not to slip into the bank. I am. The wildebeests were halfway across, swimming toward them. Many more wildebeests were jumping into the water. It's now or never, said Jack. He took a deep breath, pulled really hard. Just then a shadow passed over them, and Jack looked up. Oh no, vultures. A huge vulture circled overhead. I think you're near the end, said Jack. Oh, get out of here, Annie shouted. I'm fine. Get out of here, you vultures. In a burst of fury, she let go of the branch. She lunged for the roots. She grabbed them. Yes, cried Jack. Pull! Slowly, Annie pulled herself out. She was covered from the black mud, head to toe. Jack helped her onto the bank, getting mud all over himself, too. See, Annie shook her fist at the vulture. I'm fine, now beat it. But the giant ugly bird still circled. Come on, let's get away from this place. Jack pushed his glasses back into place. Rats, he said. Now I've got mud on my glasses. He tried to clean his hands in the grass. Oh no. The wildebeest will get stuck in the mud hole, she cried. She waved her arms at the wildebeest as they were swimming across. Not here, she shouted. But the frantic swimmers kept coming. All right, guys, so that's the end of chapter 4.